Today we are on our way to a quaint, idyllic village 1 hour away from Stockholm in the southeast of Sweden. We are going to visit the legendary historic castle where ABBA was in 1974 for a photo shoot with a difference. ABBA went across the entire palace for an extensive photo session, and we will follow exactly in their footsteps 50 years later. Because this place feels, of course, like time stood still, as if it was just yesterday when ABBA was there. Here we are in Mariefred, 70 kilometers away from Stockholm. We are almost there. I can see the castle already from here. There it lies, beyond the meadow. This castle is one of the royal crown palaces in the Kingdom of Sweden. It is famous for its beauty and rich art collection and for its Renaissance style. The castle was built almost 500 years ago. King Gustav Vasa I had it constructed in 1537 and it was completed almost 200 years later. In 1974, ABBA was here to make their extensive Waterloo photo session, which became one of their first elaborated, full-fledged visual concepts. When it comes to ABBA's photo session in this castle, we have several floors to explore. There will be 5 different stations for us. We will see ABBA with Napoleon in front of the staircase at the window. Then we will go up to the 2nd floor into what I call, judging from the picture, the dark room. This is where ABBA was standing in front of a red chair. Our next stop will bring us to the 3rd floor, to one of the most exciting spaces, the original theatre of Gustav III, preserved since the 18th century, where ABBA stood on stage with their drums. And for the climax of the tour, it couldn't fit better that this station happens to be one of the final rooms up in the 3rd floor as well, the room where the actual album cover was taken. On our way through the castle, there will also be a few more surprises and connections. But our first stop now will be the courtyard. This is where the rarest picture of this session was taken. We have to focus on this well or fountain. It wasn't there 50 years ago, but you can see Frida standing on the old covering. Let's go inside and find one of the most iconic corners. Folks, do you recognize this corner? The staircase, the window, the step to the window. Here they were, all the way back from 1974. This is what Napoleon saw when he was standing at the window. As you can see, we are very high up. Frida was sitting on a yellow striped chair. This chair is still here in one of the corners of this long staircase. There are several chairs, so one of them was used by Frida. This photo session gets more and more exciting the more you explore the castle. It was not only one of ABBA's first and most elaborated visual concepts, as I said in the beginning, but this was the beginning of their important collaboration with Ola Lager. He became one of the most vital photographers for the group. By that time, he had worked with the members of ABBA individually before, but this became one of his first, if not the first session for the group. It was Ola's idea to shoot the album cover at this castle, to place ABBA in a historical environment and to get a connection to Napoleon. The model for Napoleon was Mike Watson, one of ABBA's bass players. He was chosen because he was rather short, and Napoleon apparently was a short man. We will see more connections to Napoleon very soon. Let's continue our tour on which ABBA was placed in this historical royal environment. Here they were. This is what I called before the dark room with the red chair, the king's audience. In the photograph, Napoleon is actually sitting in that chair in front of ABBA. The picture was made famous by the greatest hits compilation The Best of ABBA in 1975 and 76. Can you feel the atmosphere? This original, preserved theater has such an incredible vibe. It's huge and cozy at the same time. I don't know if it comes across on video, but there is something really special from this place. A magical radiation. This theater was built in 1782. At that time, Napoleon was 13 years old. Here is one of the surprises along the way. This portrait shows Queen Silvia, and it was painted in 1976. That's the same year when ABBA performed Dancing Queen for the King and Queen on the eve of their wedding. So this portrait shows Queen Silvia the way she was in 1976 when ABBA played for her. Folks, the excitement continues. Here is the climax of our ABBA photo tour, the session where the Waterloo album's cover artwork was taken. This is the exact spot with the wooden door to the right. The paintings are not there anymore. There is one final surprise towards the end of this tour. The National Portrait Gallery in this castle is one of the oldest portrait collections in the world, and here you will find a portrait of Benny Andersson. He is the first member of ABBA whose portrait is exhibited in this gallery. It was painted by well-known painter Birgit Broms. Benny himself is a great fan of hers and even owns some of her paintings. You know, after this beautiful location tour and literally walking in ABBA's footsteps, I was thinking this photo session is really an elaborated visual concept that maybe even kind of tells a story, at least for me. It is as if ABBA is having an audience with Napoleon. First, they drum their drums in the courtyard before they meet Napoleon in the king's audience room. Then ABBA went on stage in the theater to play drums again, this time for Napoleon, and in all the pictures with Napoleon, he is always shown from behind, as if to say, look at ABBA, they are the real stars. It's kind of a nice tale, even if it wasn't intended like that. Or maybe it was. This is our final look at the castle from outside, where we see the tower and window where ABBA was standing inside to shoot the album's cover artwork, many decades ago. For our finale, to conclude this beautiful day, I want to stroll through the charming village nearby and enjoy the Swedish landscape. We've come to the end of an exciting day. I hope and I think our trip showed how important this session was. for the collaboration between Ola Lager and ABBA, for ABBA themselves, and to establish one of their key concepts, the visual representation. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the 50th anniversary of Waterloo. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be here and to take all of you with me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Alright, until then, hey do!